Hello, it's the middle of May now and the seeds that we planted in March and April have sprung into life and are being potted on and sometimes potted straight into the garden. There's still time to plant many of those seeds in May, but for others you're probably better off buying in these plug plants. I've ordered these plugs in from a specialist grower, and these are nettle-leaved bellflowers. They are the absolute favourite of the harebell bees, one of the UK's smallest bees. Now, the idea with plug plants, and especially these mini plug plants, is they're not ready to go into the ground right now. You have to pot them on at least once, twice if you're going to grow specimen plants, once if it's just going to be trailing. So you take your array of plug plants and a pencil, and all you need to do is pop a pencil in the back. Out will come the plug. That's a mix of peat-free general purpose compost and a bit of perlite for drainage. Just a quick mention about compost. If you can, do buy peat-free compost. Peat bogs are not renewable and they are the fossil fuels of garden compost. So look for peat-free compost wherever you can. And that's all you need to do. I'll give these a good water with a watering can, and I'll check as soon as I find a little root poking around the bottom. That's time to put it into a slightly larger pot, and then when it reaches the edge of that larger pot, I'll put them in the ground. Now, the harebell bee, which feasts on campanulas, isn't in all regions of the UK. I've done my research and found that there are campanulas and therefore probably harebell bees in the Guildford area. So when they do come to the garden, I've gone a little further and started making a bee house for them. A bee hotel is a bit of a misnomer because they will become permanent houses for the solitary bees that live there. So if you're going to make a bee house, be prepared to maintain it, because if you don't, what happens is parasites also go and live in these bee hotels, and every year the bees that come will be infected with these parasites. So be prepared to clean them out at the end of every season once the solitary bees have vacated them. That said, I'm going with a simple design of a frame around the outside and some blocks in the middle that I'll drill holes in various sizes to support different types of solitary bee. Now, I've gone for this fairly simple design. We've got some untreated timber. That's important. You don't want to be using treated timber because the chemicals inside it will be bad for the bees. I've gone for two sides, and there's going to be a sloped roof on top because these blocks which the bees will live in need to be kept dry. And I've chosen these blocks of untreated timber rather than bamboo because they're much easier to maintain, and of course these will need maintaining, as I mentioned. The benefit of this is you can stack your blocks inside and slide them in and out as I need to clean them. And I just need to put on the sloped roof. So we've got our sloped roof on, and now we need to put some holes into these blocks, and we're going to do a variety of sizes to attract a variety of bees, from the larger mason bees, which you can do with a 10mm drill bit, go as far as the drill bit will go. You can attract some leafcutter bees with something closer to a 6mm drill bit, and for those tiny harebell bees we're looking for something, probably the smallest drill bit you've got. This is a 2mm, which will be plenty for those little bees. Now, a really important thing to do is to take a piece of sandpaper and make sure that the wood is perfectly smooth, especially around the entrance to the holes, because bees have really delicate wings and the smallest splinter can damage them. One other important thing to do is to make sure there's no sawdust in the holes, so give them a good tap, and if you happen to have a particularly small bottle brush, give them a clean in the holes too, and the bees will thank you for it. Now, because the bees that live in here don't have the fluffy coats of bumblebees, they need the sun to warm up, so it needs to go on a south-facing wall and without any foliage in front, in like a nice clear run in and out. And I know just the spot on that wall over there. And now that's all done. Our bee house is mounted at least a metre above the ground, and I'll be keeping a watch on it to see if we get any bees coming in. I'll also be watching to see if any birds come and try and eat those bees, and if they do, I'll just put some chicken wire over the front to protect them. But that's something for the longer term. For now, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy watching the garden. Thanks for watching me.